Yo, hey YouTube family, what is going on? What's poppin'? I'm back with another video. It's your boy Child of the King. I hope y'all are having a blessed and highly encouraged day today. Yo, I hope y'all staying good, living good, eating right, and staying healthy and fit. I just want to give all praise and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh Shi, Yahweh Shah, my Father in heaven. And I just really want to touch upon the social, economical factors and issues that we don't even see to our day-to-day lives, even though we do see it on because we live in a digital age. But I just want to elaborate more on this topic like never before. So stay for this great episode. I hope y'all are getting ready for what I'm about to say to you guys. So let's take a look to dig down really deep into history about God's currency, God's true currency, God's valuable currency. And that valuable currency that I'm going to be talking to you guys about today is actually the valuable currency of the gold standard. Yep, I said it, the gold standard. And what that basically means is that, we had many forms and different ways of going about currency, because back in biblical days, we used to use gold as currency. Gold and silver was a form of currency. Even says in the book of Proverbs, gold, silver, talents was a form of currency. That was a main source because it was found in the earth. And also, we used to even use rice. Yeah, that was found in the earth too. Rice and beans and cocoa, everything like that as a means of currency. We used to use food as a form and means of currency, valuable currency, to trade across the whole entire world, to buy goods and services, right? Back in medieval times or something like that, right? And and today we use paper money. So why am I actually bringing this up? Why am I just making a big distinction between what type of currency that we used to use, like gold, silver, cocoa, like food, and all these different, and even animals we used to trade 40 acres and a mule back in slavery days. Even animals we used as a form of currency, and even people, to be honest, because we were slaves. I mean, my skin colored people, we were slaves too. Even that's the sad part. But why am I bringing this up? Is because what's most important is actually God's currency. Going back to God's currency, which is the which is gold, right? It was taken away and was stripped away from us, and is now being transferred into some type of new world order. But it's gold. We have no gold right now. Gold was actually God's currency, and people the government made it easier to monitor, to track your spending if you're gonna do anything that is out of proportion, out of hand, which is kind of good, but it's kind of lacking at the same time. What I mean is by this, it's kind of mysterious, because in 1933, right, in about the 1930s, the government used the government used paper money in replacement of gold, so that he can use paper money. U.S. government can use paper money in the 1930s to track the U.S. citizen spending, and it could make it easier and alleviate the pressure of the U.S. citizens, to carry around this big pile of this big pile of gold. Imagine carrying on. I really want you to think and imagine you carrying around 10 blocks of 300-pound gold bricks in your hand, trying to buy some Gucci bags or Dior or something like that. That's impossible, right? That's pretty you would have to have a tractor trailer in the back of your trunk, or a truck like a friggin' military truck, to bring all this gold cash, right? It didn't make any sense. So it was actually convenient for all the U.S. citizens, right, for the government to instead of it would be more maneuverable, more it would be convenient for the U.S. citizens to, instead of you carrying around all these big blocks of gold and chains in gold, right, in their hands or in the back of their cars, right, they could simply use something like paper money. And that's where we came out with the U.S. dollar. See, in the 1930s, the 1930s, right, you may think that's all that would happen, that's all that happened, but the truth is really this: the U.S. government he purposely and intentionally wanted to seize all the U.S. citizens' gold out of his favor, so that he can use it to, like, you know, monitor, track your spending habits and everything like that, right? And not only that, and he not only that, it wasn't actually backed up by gold. Now now, like, the paper money is backed up by nothing at all, right? Because, you know, inflation, you know, like, they lost track already, to be honest, because you can't just sit down and count, like, oh, 100 take one tick of gold, because in investment, in terms of the, like, you know, business, in business terms, one tick of gold, I believe, is like $100 or something like that. But, like, if you invest in gold today on the stock exchange or something like that, or an upsell, you know, that's what it basically is. That's what basically gold is, you know. But you could invest in gold digitally now, but I don't think, like, you know, the dollar itself, we're talking about the dollar here. The dollar itself is, like, really backed up by nothing, because, like, gold was God's currency. So back in biblical days, right? You know, Job in the land of Uz, yo, he was really rich. He was really rich. All these kings of the earth, right? They were really rich. They had gold. Even Massa Musa, right? Back in, like, he was like he was claimed to be the richest man, black man, and, like, the richest man in history, right? Because, like, if it weren't for inflation, bro, like, if somebody like Mansa Musa really invested, if we had a digital age back then, and he really he would have had billions of dollars, bro, to be honest. But money decreased because of inflation, you see. And because of inflation, that $6 million back then, if it weren't for inflation, would be worth more than, like, more than $6 billion, to be honest, you know, if it weren't for inflation, right? Yo, but, like, to be honest, why God's currency is actually gold is because it is found in the earth, and it's a natural source of, like, metals, like, right? It's a natural source. Like, gold is pure, gold is very rare, gold is, like, you know, gold is, like, precious, like, you know. Even the book of Proverbs talks about it. But even knowledge and wisdom is better than the profit of gold, is gained better than that of silver, right? But, like, still, gold is actually God's currency. God's original form of currency is actually gold. And the reason why I'm bringing this to everybody's attention is because gold, like, in the gold standard, the U.S. government wanted to seize every U.S. citizen's money for the sake of, you know, peace and security, for the sake of security, for the sake of their convenience, right? But I do believe that there's something, like, some type of agenda behind it to, like, you know, to, like, manipulate the gold, to manipulate the gold supply, to manipulate the, you know, the money that's coming in, so that, like, really, like, in the Federal Reserve, they manipulate the money that's coming in and the cash supply, to be honest with you. And they just print money because, like, they don't want to just, like, find gold and everything, like, and just harbor all this gold from the earth. They could just easily print money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, just like, in a span, like, he prints $1 million in, like, a second, right? Every second $1 million is printed out. Isn't that crazy? So, like, really think about that. Even every 60 minutes, $100 million is printed. $100 million is printed out every hour. So really just think about it, is because, you know, the reason why I think there's an agenda behind it is because they wanted to control the cash supply and manipulate the cash supply. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what they're doing in the stock market, and, you know, how they tell you to buy low, sell high, and, you know, once you buy high at a higher price and you don't even know it, that once the person behind that computer wants to short the stock, and the selling pressure is bigger, is exponentially way more bigger, 10 times the buying pressure, then the stock is gonna go down, and you might lose all your bread. You might lose all your money, right? What did I say, bread? Like, no, you might lose all your money. So, like, basically like that, so they can have easier access to control, like, your spending, like, to see what you buy, what like, to see, just to monitor your spending habits and to control, you know, the cash supply. I think that's the agenda that was behind it. And I think it further goes on to show that we're living in a new digital age, the new world order. So like I said in my older videos, in order for there to be a new world order, in order for there to be a new world order, right? I want y'all to listen to this. The old system has to transfer to the new system. The old system has to be done with. And then after the old system is destroyed, they have to take whatever they have from the old system, pick parts from that old system, and for it to transfer into the new system. Because that old system, I mean, we're still humans. Like, they have to like take some analogy, like take something, like say in the form of currency. Imagine, all right, so cash is in the old system, paper cash is in the old system, paper physical cash is in the old system, right? And they want to transfer cash into the new system. They store that energy, like that type of idea, and they transfer, instead of having paper cash into the new world order, they're gonna have digital cash, digital assets, digital everything in the new world, instead of like in the old world, like they used to have in the industrial age, like they used to have paper money, gold coins, and everything like that. In order for there to be a newer system, a newer system that they can control more, at like almost the whole entire cash supply, the food supply, and the people. You know, because, and the information, if they control the information, they're definitely going to control the people, and even the cash flow, where the cash is coming from. If they control what the people buy, you know, even what they buy, like if they control, yeah, like if they control the banks, then if they can control or monitor your spending habits, then basically they don't have any control of your money. So that's basically what it was. That's basically just some informative, valuable knowledge that I just really wanted to give to everybody on this video today. And it's just something for you to think about, you know. Just take everything with a grain of salt. I'll leave some research down below. You know, I really love to educate my people about, you know, the basis of finances, and like, you know, not that, like the history of you know, finances and everything like that. So that's basically, like, I just really wanted to say that God's currency is gold to begin with. And the US government didn't want to have anything to do with gold. They wanted their own form of gold. They wanted to move independently instead of joining with God's currency. They wanted to be on their own. So that's basically it. They wanted to have homage over their money instead of like God's money. You know what I'm saying? Because God is like a precious metal that gold is like a precious material that was created by God. They don't want to have anything to do. They want to do away with gold so they can have like control over the cash supply and manipulate the cash supply. And this is why they came up with the Federal Reserve. So that's basically it. Not necessarily saying that the Federal Reserve is actually manipulating the cash supply, but they're just like controlling how much comes in and how much goes out. That's basically what the Federal Reserve is for. So I hope y'all like this video, and just stay blessed, y'all. Peace.